I'm Carla Meske. This is SpiritHealer.com. It's a pop-up circle for Shamanic Soul Gardening, and it's the fourth one in our series. This is my signature work of using the shamanic journey to create a garden in non-ordinary reality, and that garden grows your life. So I have a couple things in my life today I'm anxious to work on, things I'd like to change and improve. And I'm going to be doing that while I'm showing you guys this. We'll all be journeying together to learn how to do this and to begin to make a shape shift in our life. I am going to show us all, see who's on the Zoom call. I've got Giovanna, Penny, Judy, Lainey, Randy Lee, Gabrielle, Val. Hi, Gabrielle. Mary Stout, Linda Anderson. We're all coming on now. Isn't this great? Look at us, a happy little Zoom tribe. And before we begin, can we just go around the Zoom circle and say hello and state our names? And one thing that we'd like to see developed and grown in our garden, one aspect of our life that we'd like the spirits to help us grow. And I'll begin with my darling friend, Giovanna.
Oh, thank you. First, I love this process so much. I think it's the most divine gift Spirit gave you to work with. And you're the perfect person, so thank you. And I am wanting to grow in my garden a very beautiful long-term romantic relationship.
Oh, good. Okay, bring in the honeys. How about Judy Hoffman?
Oh,
Huffman, excuse me.
I've thought about it, so ask me by.
You want me to come back to you?
Yes, please.
Okay, Linda.
A further ease and grace in lifestyle.
Ease and grace in lifestyle. Great. Oh, super, super. Gabrielle.
Hi everybody, I'm Gabrielle. I live in Michigan. I would like to have the superpower of seeing the spirit in everything at all times.
Okay. The spirit in everything at all times. Great. Mary Stout.
Hi. I studied with you, Carla, years ago, and keep remembering how good that was.
Oh!
And just wanted to reconnect, and this subject was of interest to me. And as far as the question, I would really love to get more deeply into my shamanic studies.
Great. Super. Well, we've got a way to help you with that. Val.
Hi, I'm Val. I'm in Orlando, well, outside of Orlando, and I would like to build more of a shamanic relationship with the elementals and the fairies and the mystic creatures that live within our realm.
Cool. Cool. Well, go hang out at Joe's. Joe was the guest on the last pop-up, and she took us through her gardens, and they're just unbelievably beautiful. So cool. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Sabina.
Hi there, how are you? Yeah, I can't talk at home without the dogs talking too, so.
Is there something you'd like to grow in your garden today in your life?
Well, I have a whole assortment of veggies now that are, my radishes are already sprouting out of my little starter kits there, so
Well, what about your personal life? Something
Can I grow a money tree that actually grows money on it?
Sure, why not? What the hell? Yes. The answer to that is yes. Maybe we should all do that. It's a great idea.
Right.
Thanks. Okay, I'm moving on. Lainey. Oh, Lainey.
Hi, I'm Lainey, and I live in Phoenix, Arizona. And I would like to grow my soul garden. I would like to work with my helping spirits to learn more about what my purpose is and how to incorporate it in my life.
Ah, the old purpose garden. Yes. Super duper. Sarah.
Hi.
Hi.
I am joining the call a little bit late. I got sidetracked. Well, I have, I'm ready to go. I bought a whole bunch of seeds to plant, and I guess I'm talking about not only a soul garden, but literally a garden. I'm working on landscaping in my home as well, and I'm going to plant wildflowers and chamomile. I got inspired by the chamomile from the first pop-up in the series that you're doing, Carla. And I also got some milkweed. And also, you know, I'm doing this because I want to teach my children a little bit about gardening and how important it is, and connecting with them through this garden. And my daughter, who's 19, was already quite interested, and she was excited because she said, "Oh, Mom, we can make chamomile tea together." So it's all about love and connection for me, and just being consistent, and not forgetting to self-care and extend that nurturing to my family.
You know, you're really bringing up a neat point, and I hadn't thought of it, but it's really, I think it's really fundamental. Shamanic soul gardening, where Grandmother Sunflower taught me, is I get an idea about what I want to do in my life, or what the pie wedge shapes of my life are, my family, my shamanic school, horses, whatever. And then I go in and I say, what needs to be cleared and changed? And if I want to develop this kind of love and nurture here, what plants can we grow? And it's a journey work process, and you see your life unfold. But to anchor it in our physical gardens is the best, to have it three ways. So your personal intention in your life, regardless of what you do in the ground, your journey work to make that garden grow in the non-ordinary reality, and your anchor of your physical garden that we've been working on. This really is the triangle. Thank you, Sarah, for making that clear. And I appreciate that.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm glad I can help.
You're great. I'm going to come back now to Judy. Got you unmuted, Judy.
Yeah, I'm
You don't have to tell
really
us.
I'm really opening up to my spirituality that I really knew I had as a child, and I closed the doors. And in the last few months, I've really taken steps to open those doors and bring back the gifts and the knowledge that I brought with me into this life. So I'm working on that garden of allowing those seeds to grow and sharing my knowledge with others.
Good work.
And I love your work. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, honey. I appreciate you. Oh, it feels good, huh? Randy Lee, I don't think we've called on you. Randy? Oh, I tried unmuting you. There you are.
Okay. Oh.
No, you're muting yourself.
I'm Randy Lee, and I would like just to have some more focus. I feel like I walk down a lot of paths, but I really don't ever dig my feet in to any one path. And I'd really like Source to tell me what I can really dig into for 2020.
So we've got a couple of people who want life purpose stuff, path and life purpose. I love that. Penny, I have not asked you yet, and I cannot unmute you. There you go.
That's good. I just did it. Yes, I would like to work on plant and animal communication. So like spirit seems like if it's totally etheric, it's easier, but actually communicating with beings who are here is a little bit different. So
Yeah.
I need to work on that.
Oh, that's really cool. Good. And you're taking the shamanic animal communication course that's coming up.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to
Advertisement
that.
time. Now brought to you by Spirit Healer School of Shamanism. On May 5th, I'm beginning my animal communication and shamanic animal healing intensive. It's a 12-week course, meeting once a week for 2 hours at a time with homework in between. The first 6 weeks, we focus on communicating with animals using the shamanic journey and learning how to make that journey be a continuum so you can walk out of it just a little ways to have a communication with the animal, with the plant or whatever, with more ease, more telepathic style, but using shamanism as our structure. And then going deep into the shamanic journey to do healing work on the things that we discover. The thing that separates shamanic animal communication from telepathic, the core thing is the use of our spirit guides as intermediaries and as someone who augments and really gives more value to the entire process. So that's what we have coming up May 5th, SpiritHealer.com/animals, and I will send a link out to everybody. Thanks for the ad. I appreciate that. Has anyone not, Michelle, we haven't heard from you. You've just come on. Shamanic Soul Gardening, if you had an intention that you would like to grow in your life, what would it be?
Compassion.
Compassion. Good enough. I'm down with that. Anyone else would like to speak before we dive in? Nope. Okay, here we go. I'm going to call the spirits in the process of our first journey because I just want to make things compact for us because we are on a short time frame in these pop-up circles. Our first journey will be to go to our place in nature, connect with our power animal and our shamanic sacred tree, and ask to be taken to the teacher and the location of a garden where we can grow our lives. Now for me, the location is Lower World. My teacher is an English gentleman named Ram, and of course Grandmother Sunflower, because she's everywhere with me. And the location is a little bit offset from my regular working place. It's fabulous. So we're going to go there. The intention of this journey is to find your location of the garden and meet the teacher who is going to be helping you with it, and to state your initial intention. I would like to cultivate this in my garden and in my life. Okay, here we go. It won't be a long journey because we're on a little pop-up circle, don't you know? And of course, there is a follow-up class to this. I've got an exploring series on this coming up soon. So here we go. Call the spirits of the north, the east, the south, and the west, the compassionate, loving spirits of these directions and above and below, to support us on this journey, to support us and support all of our circle as one, that we may find our sacred place to plant a soul garden, and the teacher or teachers who will show us how and support us through the process. I will end the journey in about 5 minutes. It will be short. If you wish to come back from the journey, that's fine. If you wish to stay in the journey, our next intention is to ask your gracious spirit what the place looks like now and what needs to be cleaned up, fixed up, changed, and rearranged before you start really planting the seeds for the intention. Anything you need to do to prepare the ground for your work. This might involve making a compost pile. I'm just saying. I'll drum again for another about 5 minutes. How do I prepare the ground for my new garden? Thanking the spirits, thanking your beautiful place. We're going to come back now from our journey, and a few of us will share. Coming back now. Thank you, spirits. Well, that was complicated. Oh, man. I'll share quickly what the things about mine that were sort of unexpected. My intention is to work on aspects of my relationship with my sweetheart and to develop our communication so that it's really yummy and supportive and all that. Especially in these COVID times, you know, who you're living with is really a lot, and to honor and respect that. And the first thing that I saw that was a little bit unexpected is that our garden together is great, and we each have separate gardens of our own lives. Bye, Judy. And so I have to make sure to cultivate that special garden of my own life. And the second thing was that in that second part of the journey, how do we change and prepare the ground? There's a giant granite boulder that would not be moved. No way. You have to learn to build around it. You have to learn to grow around it. And it's our core beliefs. And so the only way to deal with that, what is the elephant in the living room, is to honor it and to touch it and to thank it for its wisdom and to see what petroglyphs are on it and to understand how it contributes to the ecosystem and to make space for it, even if it means the garden isn't symmetric, which drives me nuts. I like a little symmetry. That's my sharing. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you'd like to share. We can hear from a few people, and then we'll do our next journey.
I can go. I was surprised that I asked to work on the animal and plant communication, and the message was, well, the first thing you have to do is focus on your communication with your spirit community. And so a big weed was pulled out, you looked like a thistle. And I had lots of spirit animals who were helping me to dig it out. And a baobab tree was planted there by an elephant. Interesting.
Cool.
There.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Just let things flow and see what comes up. Giovanna, I bet yours was delicious. Can you unmute yourself, or do you want me to? There you go.
There we go. I'm kind of mind boggled because I love this process and I have not gone for quite a long time in the garden. And I was taken, but I did the journey exactly the way you did. And I was brought to a teacher I've never met before, never worked with. And then I asked the land where my garden will, and I assume she'd just take me to the garden I've been before. She took me to this whole different place. It's just brand new. And I'm like, what about my old garden and the guardian keeper and all that? She goes, you don't need that anymore. That's done. And she goes, it doesn't even exist anymore, the old garden. Like, wow. So I'm in this new land and I'm thrilled with it. And it's huge, expansive. And the other one had like set fences around it. None of that. It's just this beautiful, expansive place. And then I was told to carve out part on this big hillside that would be the beginning of like a foundation for a house. And then to take all these seeds, they look like seeds, like plant seeds, to go down lower where it's more lush and green and put these seeds all over the place. And I wanted to see what they'd be when they grow up. She goes, oh, these are the beginning of like insects or something. They're going to go all over these lower grounds and just churn everything up. And it's going to get aerated and rich in soil. I am thrilled in my body. I can just feel this thrill. So thank you.
Neat. So cool.
Surprise.
Surprise. Hi, Maylene. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Who would like to share? Go ahead and pull yourself off mute. Come on. Okay.
Okay, I'm here.
Two of
Am I
us.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah. Sarah, we're who was I just looking at there?
Me, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah. Okay, great. Sarah, go. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I'm kind of like a beat poet here because I heard photographs, play, listen, observe, enjoy, document. We're here. Just be receptive. Sunshine, joy, horse, rabbit, bees, birds, deer, butterflies.
Beat poet. Oh man. There's a lot to that. And the being out in our garden and doing our trimming and weeding and so forth while we're actively thinking about what we're cultivating in both realities. Yeah. And seeing how the garden actually speaks to us. Like this morning I was out doing that and in my new front yard garden that I'm cultivating right now. And I hadn't had a rabbit in it all year, but there she was, Mrs. Rabbit. Okay, Michelle, I've got you. And Mrs. Rabbit and I had long conversations about how she says, these buckwheats are the most delicious thing ever, and I must eat them. And I said, I provide you alfalfa out there. And she said, and so on we go. It's all about communication. Michelle. Go ahead and pull yourself off mute. There you go.
I had said that I wanted to cultivate compassion, and I was corrected that what I needed was discernment. And like 2 weeks ago, my computer went down, and I've been scrapping together my ability to show up on Zoom. And it told me to go get a new computer, that was going to get the seeds going. And as silly as it sounds, it was very practical. And yeah. I guess I needed to hear that. Like get back in the swing of things, stop improvising. Just because I can't shop the way I'm used to, I can still shop and get my world moving. And the computer is apparently a bigger part of it than I realized. And discernment is what I need. And I'm very appreciative to know that. So I'll be planting that right now.
You've got a nice practical gardening helper, don't you?
Very practical.
Yeah. Very
thank
practical.
you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. One more sharing before we go to cultivating the most important thing, I think, our compost pile.
I will share. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So I already had a garden, but it was abstract. So this journey made it visible to me. So I actually now have a real place for a garden I can see. And my garden is on the most perfectly arable, rich, loamy soil that one could ask for. And it has a circle of stone people around it. So it's round, which I was very happy for the circle. And my teachers, it will have a compost pile. But I was asking for my teachers to come, and my teachers are, I couldn't ask for 4 better teachers, are earth, air, fire, and water. And they are going to help me learn how to work with all of them to create what we intend to grow. So that's good, because the gardens I have in my physical world here, they are not on the most rich arable soil ever. So it requires a lot of work. So together we will learn how to make both of those, the physical and the spiritual realm, grow.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you for the journey.
Thank you. We have not yet heard from Maylene. She came in mid-journey. Hey, Maylene, you want to unmute yourself, say hello, and tell us what you're
Hello, everyone. I'm happy I just got the last beats, but I was transported into old times. I loved it. I was right in the garden. As a landscape architect, I love your garden journeys, Carla.
You're a landscape architect? Did I know that?
Nope, because when we started, more or less, I just had stopped being it because I became a mom. But it's in my blood, nature and plants and gardening. Yeah.
Well, it's great to see you. Love that.
Beautiful to see you and everyone else.
All right, let's do another journey. Let's go back and ask the spirits where our compost pile is and to show us what we need to compost of our own stuff. One of the things I like the most about this process is that it makes transfiguration of your personal caca and your intrusions and all that stuff that makes us sick or crazy or limits us, all that stuff that you go and you get all this deep healing work on. In the context of the shamanic garden, we just compost it. We just strip it away and put it in a compost bed. And the beauty of that is that our own energy gets transformed into food for our life. So let's go find our compost bed and ask our gracious spirits to help us put into that compost bed those things in our way that need to be composted now. Those things that are in our way, blocking us, part of us to be composted now. Back to your beautiful garden space, connecting with your teachers, asking to be seen, the compost pile, to compost stuff right now, and to ask the spirits if there is a little daily ritual that you should be doing with your compost pile. A little hygiene. right, I'll tell you. The things that they were composting for me are defensive reactions, me, and impatience, me. Those two things. And they pulled the impatience out of me like this giant stake, and the defensiveness like armor. And they showed how the land, the ground that I was preparing, it looked like at first that it had been covered in cleavers. It looked like it was totally matted in cleavers. And all those cleavers and all that extra tangly growth just went into the compost pile. And they said, your daily ritual is when you take the compost out to your actual compost pile, that you make an offering and a prayer that these qualities get composted. Then you think about the things in your life that you personally need to release every time you put your tea bags and your coffee grounds and scraps into your compost pile. So I'll have to give you an update and a report on that. But I'm so impatient about it. Who will share? Go ahead and pull yourselves off mute.
I'll go.
Oh, good.
Yes, because I was flown really quickly by and put in front of the door of my garden. And I said thank you, because really when you started the first time the course of gardening, I was with you and I hadn't been, and the welcoming brought tears to my eyes. And I had neglected to travel to my garden. And the compost I had in my head was huge. And I came into my garden, I found it right away, and it was so much smaller. I was really, and I barely had to do something than just really play with it and aerate it the outside. So from the inside, there is so much support of it being dissolved by many beings. And to trust myself, that and to be patient, everything is functioning, and to let go of the non-trust of myself, seeing it always so big when it is really so small. And the master dragon, you know, I always thought was so rough, and he let me just lean into his wing and rest and look at the beautiful garden. And for me, what to do is to bring out the beautiful fruits and vegetables that I eat and nourish myself outside to the compost and share it. Mm-hmm. So it is also for me to show my insides and bring it out to the outside. So that's what was very beautiful. So thank you very much for this beautiful energy.
And Maylene did take the entire course as part of my intensive program there, where Shamanic Soul Gardening is one of the modules in the intensive program. And we do work with dragons when we take this really deep and far, because the seeds that we plant in the garden are magical. They're not just from burpees. They're magical seeds that have been fertilized by dragons. And it's an intentional process that merges the she world, the fairy world, with our world in a way that makes us entwined permanently, married. And it's a process. It's precious. Thank you for sharing that, Maylene.
Thank you.
Who would share? Speaking of sharing, you just pull yourself off mute. That's all you have to do.
This is Giovanna in Port Townsend, Washington. Hola. A lot happened, and I'll just give a couple highlights. The very first thing is asking what needs to be removed, and she actually stripped some layers off me and put that into the compost area. And I just started sobbing and sobbing and sobbing and sobbing, and some fear, but just dumping a lot of shaking, trepidation, grief. And then a bunch of other stuff happened. And then at some point, she said, you need to put this in the compost too. And it was a man, not generic man, a specific man. Just put it down in there because you're going to be with him again. And so it's somebody, and I've had this sense that whoever I'm meeting, it's somebody I've not been romantic feelings towards, but it's someone I'm going to meet again that I've known from a long time ago. She's like, yeah, we got to recycle him. So I thought that was hilarious.
Did you see who it was?
No.
Oh.
No, but I just have had the sense this person coming, it'll be somebody I know from before, but we just never had that spark, right? And she was like, oh yeah, we're just putting him down in here. I'm like, that cracked me up.
My old friend Eugene Spiegel, he was a very practical person, and he would say of romance, well, I'm very interested in her, whoever she is, but she's not divorced yet. I have to wait till she's divorced. And not that she was going to get divorced, but just as a practical means, you know, these things come around and then it's ready. Oh God, what a great guy, Eugene. Who will share?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Sarah.
Hello. I couldn't figure out, I just joined without the video, so I'm sorry everyone that you're looking at a white circle. I saw myself saving food scraps and the practical part of like going to the store, buying a bucket, training my children. But I think what's more important is that I had this vision of a lava flow, this immense, like huge lava flow, and just moving slowly, watching it cool down, seeing the cracks, seeing the stone, but then underneath crack with the lava coming through. And I think what the message is that I need to move slowly to keep my power. And when I cool down, I'm still going to be a solid rock. I mean, it sounds so cheesy, doesn't it? But that's what the message I got. And it's like, even if I'm cracked, I've still got that fire, that lava beneath the surface that is my power.
You know, lava and dragons are related.
And I find it really interesting that a couple of comments from the first two speakers talked about a spark, and it's kind of interesting that, and I feel like we were kind of getting the same message, but we just interpret it differently.
I'm saying goodbye to Gabrielle. We are getting the same message. The fire teacher. Yeah. It's big. It's big. Would anyone else like to share? Looking at all your happy faces.
Well, I have a bit of humor that I didn't understand on the first journey why I was sitting in a meadow in a huge mountainous landscape. And when we went into the second journey and I, asked to be shown the compost pile, they said, well, you need a very large compost pile. So your compost pile is this crevice between these mountains over here. And I said, well, okay. And since I was asking for direction with ease and grace and lifestyle, I said, well, is there anything that I should be composting? And they said, everything that you're doing, you need the ability every day before you interact with anyone or do any task to rethink that. And if it's not something that you should be doing, you should compost it immediately. And as it transmutes, you will be given the right words to say to that person or the right thing to do in that situation so that no one's feelings will get hurt and you will get your exit.
Oh, I am going to remember that. I am going to remember that when I'm out there, and I've got my little pile right now. It's got artichokes, and I'm going to say exactly that. Thank you. Big crevice. Yeah, it's good. One more, and then we'll call it our conclusion. Oh, come on, raise your paw. No? You're being shy.
I'll share a little bit.
Oh, good.
Just because everyone seems to have relationships going on, I also was shown to recycle a lot of relationships I get hung up on. They're not romantic, but just female relationships, and they don't seem to go the way I want. So I get too hung up on that. So it was recycling that and just really looking forward, you know, at my goals and not being distracted. I was very distracted in the first meditation because the oil truck came. So that's a reoccurring thing in my life, that I keep getting distracted.
Yeah.
Hold off course. So really trying to anchor myself better.
Mm-hmm. Well, life is distracting. It just is. And I don't know about you guys, but I am finding COVID is distracting.
Yeah.
It's because all of a sudden, all the things were supposed to be, all the habits I had are now changed, and the world is coming at me from my computer. And it's like Zoom is just, I used to really love teaching on Zoom because that's what I did, and I've been teaching on Zoom for years, but now it's like Zoom again with the Zoom. So I don't know what to say. But I appreciate your being here on Zoom today with me, and I appreciate all of your integrity and your connection to your spirits. Facebook friends, thank you so much for being here. I will be offering Shamanic Soul Gardening in the Exploring series beginning in June. I actually am going to take a week off in May. Blessing. I'm going to get in my truck and drive and go see my sister at her camp up in northern New Mexico. We're going camping together for a week. I know, I feel like I haven't seen anybody but Matt and faces on Facebook. Shucks. I love you so much. Thank you for coming. SpiritHealer.com, all my events, all my classes are there. We're going to be starting soul retrieval in 2 weeks in the intensive program. So if you have shamanic background, or if you've taken my intensives before and you want to be part of the soul retrieval intensive, you're welcome to join. We have some room available in morning and evening sections. We have shamanic animal communication and healing beginning May 5th. And I have an exploring series, which I'm reworking right now. There you go. Thank you for being part of this. I love you very, very, very much. Go to the Spirit Healer YouTube channel to see all the videos that have come before this in the series. And may your gardens grow with grace and beauty. Bye now.
Thanks, Carla.
Love you and appreciate you all.
I love you and appreciate you too.
Thank you. We appreciate this series.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Beauty, dear ones.